Hold a piece of paper money in your hand for a moment, in your mind if you don't have one nearby, and ask yourself an honest question. What is this actually? What I'm about to explain is something almost everyone uses every single day without truly understanding it. It's not gold, it's not backed by anything you could touch, melt down, or hold on to if the system disappeared tomorrow. It's paper, or increasingly, it's not even that, just a number on a screen. And yet, you can hand it to a stranger or the other side of the planet, someone who doesn't speak your language, has never met you, and will never see you again, and they will give you something real in return: food, shelter, someone's time and labor. How does that actually work? Stay with me, because by end of this, you'll never look at the price tag the same way ever again. Section 1. Why money is really just a belief everyone agrees on. Here's the truth that sounds strange the first time you hear it, and then never stops making sense. Money has no power of its own. None. A banknote cannot feed you. A number in a bank account cannot shelter you from the rain. What money actually is, at its core, is a shared belief, a collective agreement among a huge number of strangers that this particular thing represents value and can be traded for another things that generally do have value. That's it. That's the entire foundation underneath every economy that has ever existed. Not the paper, not the metal, the agreement. This is why money only works as long as everyone keeps believing the same thing at the same time. Think about what happens the moment that shared belief breaks. Throughout history, when people have lost faith that a currency will hold its value, during periods of extreme inflation in various countries across different eras, the physical paper hasn't changed at all. Same ink, same fiber, same printing, but it became nearly worthless within weeks, sometimes days, because the one thing giving its value, the agreement, collapsed. The paper was never the point. The belief was always the entire mechanism. Section 2. How it evolved from trading goods to numbers on a screen. Here's the story almost nobody tells properly. How we actually got here. Long before money existed in any form we will recognize, people traded directly. A farmer with extra grain trading for a tool from someone who make tools. This system called barter, but it had an obvious flaw. It required something economists call a double coincidence of wants. The toolmaker had to want grains at the exact moment the farmer had grains to trade, in roughly the right quantity. That's a lot of coincidence stacking up just to make one trade happen. So humans across many different civilizations independently arrived at a solution. Pick something that almost everyone will accept and use that as middle step. Shells, beads, precious stones, eventually metals, because metal was durable, could be divided into smaller and larger pieces, and was naturally scarce enough that it couldn't simply be created out of nothing. This next shift is one that changes everything that comes after. Coins gave way to paper. Originally, paper that represented a claim on gold or silver, actually held somewhere safe, like a receipt. Eventually, most countries moved away from that gold backing entirely, and currency became what called fiat. Money valuable simply because a government declares it legal tender, and because enough people collectively continue to trust and use it. And now, increasingly, even the paper is disappearing, replaced by numbers in a database, moved between accounts with a tap or a click. No physical object changing hands at all. The form keeps changing. Livestock to metal, metal to paper, paper to digits. But the underlying function, a shared symbol everyone agrees to trust, has remained exactly the same since very first trade. Section 3. Why a dollar bill has zero value on its own. Here's the experiment that proves the entire point of this video. Picture a single banknote, completely alone, no economy around it. No other person nearby who will recognize what it is. Stand it somewhere with no one else in the sight. What can it actually do for you in that moment? Nothing. It can't be eaten. It offers no warmth. It has no function whatsoever outside of a system of other people who also recognize and accept it. Compare that to something like a tool or a container of clean water or a warm blanket. Those things have what economists call intrinsic value. They are useful entirely on their own, regardless of whether anyone else exists to trade with. This is the part that reframes everything else in this video. Money has none of that intrinsic value. Every bit of its worth comes entirely from outside itself, from the system, the trust, the collective agreement of everyone else using it. A dollar bill, a pound note, any currency at all. It's essentially a placeholder, a widely accepted symbol that represents a claim on someone else's future time, labor, or goods. The moment enough people stop honoring that claim, the symbol goes back to being exactly what it always physically was: paper, or metal, or nothing at all. Section 4. The real difference between rich and wealthy. Here's a distinction that almost nobody makes, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. If money itself is just a symbol representing an agreement, then having a lot of that symbol isn't automatically the same thing as being secure. This brings up a distinction worth genuinely understanding: rich versus wealthy. Being rich, in a way most people use the word, typically means having a high income or a large amount of currency flowing through your life. But income can stop. A high salary tied to one job, one employer, one set of circumstances that's fragile in a way that isn't always obvious, while it's still flowing steady. Wealth is a completely different thing, and this is where it actually gets interesting. Wealthy is a deeper sense economists and long-term thinkers use the word. Refers to owning things that continues producing value whether or not you are actively working. Assets, skills, resources, ownership in something ongoing. It also refers sometimes to time itself, the ability to sustain your life without being forced to consistently trade your hours for the symbol we call money. A person with a modest but steady flow of income with something their own and low ongoing obligations can generally be more secure, more wealthy in the real sense than someone earning an enormous income entirely dependent on showing up to one job every single day. Changes what you're actually optimizing for. Section 5. Why this changes how you see every price tag. Here's where all of this comes together and why it matters every single time you spend anything. Once you understand that the money is a symbol representing trust and that paper itself has no power beyond the agreement behind every price tag you look at from this point forward, means something slightly different. A price isn't really a statement about the object in front of you. It's a statement about how much of other people's time, effort, and trust that object is considered worth. Within the current agreement, everyone's participating, and when you hand over currency for something, you are not just exchanging paper for an object. You are exchanging a portion of your own past time and effort, the hours you spent earning that currency, for a portion of someone else's time and effort embedded in whatever you're buying. This is genuinely the whole point. Money was never really the thing. Time always was. That reframing changes the entire emotional weight of spending, saving, and building wealth. It's not really about the number on the price tag. It's about how much of your finite, non-renewable time you're willing to trade for whatever's on the other side of that tag, and whether that trade is one that actually moves you forward the life you're building, or simply moves to the same symbol from your hands into someone else. If this video changed how you see paper in your wallet, this channel exists to keep doing that exactly. Money was never magic. It was never inherently valuable. It's one of the largest, longest running collective agreements in human history, and understanding that doesn't make it less useful. It makes you a far more deliberate participant in it. Drop a comment telling me what part of this shifted something for you. I read every single one. And money is a belief. Make sure yours is working for you.